2021, a rugby coach was banned for telling the truth. In 2025, the exact same problem is happening again. And this time, he can't say a word. This is the story of how World Rugby proved Rassie Erasmus right, then silenced him anyway. Let me take you back to July 2021, the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa. One of rugby's most prestigious events. The Springboks, fresh off their 2019 World Cup victory, faced the touring side in a highly anticipated test series. After the opening test, standard post-match analysis follows. Press conferences happen, teams review footage. Nothing unusual so far. Then Rassie Erasmus, South Africa's director of rugby, does something nobody in professional rugby has ever done before. He sits down and creates a full-length video. Not 5 minutes. Not 10 minutes. 62 minutes of detailed analysis breaking down the refereeing performance of Australian official Nick Berry. 26 specific moments. Frame by frame. Timestamp by timestamp. Decision by decision. The video gets shared. It spreads. The rugby world reacts. World Rugby charges Erasmus with misconduct. They haul him before a judicial committee. The verdict comes down hard. 2-month ban from all rugby activities. Matchday restrictions extending until September 2022. The longest ban ever handed to a coach for comments about officiating. The message was clear. You don't publicly question the referees. But here's what makes this story different from every other coach getting punished for complaining about decisions. World Rugby looked at those 26 points Erasmus made in his video. They analyzed every single claim. They reviewed every timestamp. And according to multiple reports that emerged later, they agreed with him on 23 of them. 23 out of 26. Think about that for a second. The same organization that banned him for making those points publicly admitted he was correct about 88% of what he said. They didn't dispute the accuracy. They didn't argue he was wrong. They didn't defend the officiating. Their entire case rested on one thing. He made it public instead of keeping it private. The Judicial Committee's position was straightforward. Erasmus either leaked the video himself, or allowed it to be leaked. The video appeared on platforms where the public could access it. It reached the public domain. Therefore, misconduct. Case closed. Ban upheld. Erasmus maintained throughout the process that he never intended for the video to go public. He pointed out that it was shared via private messaging to the Springbok squad. He noted that 8 of the first 35 views came from Australian IP addresses. He argued that once something is shared privately with a large group, control over its distribution becomes impossible. None of that mattered to the disciplinary panel. So World Rugby got what they wanted. Erasmus was punished. A line was drawn. Coaches learned their lesson. The system moved on. Everything went back to normal. Or did it? Because fast forward to November 2025, and we're watching the exact same situation unfold again. Except this time there's a twist nobody saw coming. The Springboks are playing their end-of-year international fixtures. During this period, South African players received disciplinary sanctions that spark familiar debates about consistency. Decisions that could be interpreted multiple ways depending on how officials view the incidents. Erasmus watches from the coaching box. He sees patterns forming. He knows exactly what he wants to say, and he says absolutely nothing controversial. His official comments? Measured, professional, diplomatic. He acknowledges that referees are human. He states that the team accepts the decisions. He follows every protocol World Rugby has established for submitting feedback through proper channels. He does everything by the book, because he learned what happens when you don't. Compare that to 2021 Rassie. The man who made the hour-long video wasn't holding back. He was specific. He was technical. He walked through laws and interpretations. He showed multiple camera angles. He built a legal case in video form. That version of Rassie, Erasmus believed that if you presented the facts clearly enough, the truth would matter. 2025 Rassie knows better. He's learned that being right isn't enough. Being accurate doesn't protect you. Having the facts on your side means nothing if you break the unwritten rule. Don't embarrass the officials publicly. The system doesn't reward truth-tellers. It punishes them. This creates a problem that goes beyond one coach or one team. When World Rugby admitted Erasmus was correct about 23 out of 26 calls, they accidentally revealed something they probably wish they hadn't. They showed that the private channels for addressing officiating concerns don't actually work. Because if those channels worked, Erasmus would never have felt compelled to make that video in the first place. Think about the logic here. A coach sees what he believes are significant errors affecting a major test series. He presumably goes through the proper channels first. Nothing changes. The same patterns continue, so he makes the video to force accountability. World Rugby then confirms he was mostly correct, but punishes him anyway for the method he used to bring attention to the problem. That's not a system designed to improve officiating. That's a system designed to protect officiating from scrutiny. There's a massive difference between those two goals. Now in 2025 we're seeing the results of that approach. Erasmus can't speak freely. Other coaches watch and learn. Nobody wants to be the next person made an example of. The private feedback channels remain in place. Reports get submitted. Meetings happen. And yet the same debates about consistency keep coming up every single season. The question nobody at World Rugby wants to answer is this: if Erasmus was right about those calls in 2021, and the private system failed to address those concerns before they became public, what exactly has changed? Are referees performing better? Are teams more confident in consistency? Is there more trust in the system? Or did World Rugby simply succeed in making sure nobody talks about problems publicly anymore? Look at what this silence actually achieves. It doesn't fix inconsistencies. It doesn't improve decision-making. It just ensures that when problems occur they stay hidden behind closed doors where they can't be properly examined or addressed.
The beautiful game of rugby union prides itself on respect for officials. It's part of the sport's identity. Only the captain speaks to the referee. Players accept decisions without protest. Coaches handle concerns through proper channels after matches conclude. This culture separates rugby from other sports where officials face constant harassment. It's a value worth protecting, but somewhere along the way respect for officials became confused with immunity from accountability. These are two entirely different concepts. You can maintain respect while still demanding accuracy. You can support referees while also requiring transparency about performance standards. You can protect officials from abuse while still having honest conversations about consistency. World Rugby's handling of the Erasmus situation suggests they struggle to separate these ideas. By confirming he was mostly correct but punishing him anyway, they sent a message that accuracy matters less than appearance. That maintaining the perception of refereeing excellence is more important than actually achieving it. Here's what makes this particularly complicated. Professional rugby referees work incredibly hard. They train constantly. They review their performances. Their job is genuinely difficult. Split-second judgments at full speed. Multiple things happening simultaneously. Laws that allow for interpretation. No referee wakes up wanting to make errors. Erasmus raised questions about consistency across different officials. He questioned why similar incidents receive different sanctions. He asked about the process for determining which laws get strictly enforced versus which ones get managed pragmatically. These are legitimate questions that affect every team in every competition. And damage control doesn't fix underlying problems. It just postpones dealing with them. Fast forward to today and teams still debate consistency. Coaches still submit private feedback that seems to disappear into a void. Referees still face impossible expectations to be perfect while operating in a system that doesn't transparently address how performance is evaluated or improved. Erasmus became the face of this issue because he was willing to be specific and public. But he's not alone in his concerns. Talk to coaches privately away from cameras and official statements, and you'll hear similar thoughts across national teams and club sides. The difference is most of them learned from watching what happened to Erasmus. They learned that being right doesn't matter if you're not quiet. So we arrive back at November 2025. Disciplinary decisions that spark debate. Legitimate questions about consistency across different officials and different interpretations. And a coach who knows exactly what he'd like to say but won't because he already paid the price once for telling the truth the wrong way.
This brings us to the real question behind everything we've discussed. What does World Rugby actually want? Do they want better officiating or do they want quieter coaches? Because you can't optimize for both simultaneously. If the goal is improvement, then you need honest feedback loops and transparent discussions about performance. If the goal is protecting reputation, then you silence critics and maintain appearances. World Rugby seems to have chosen the second option. The irony is that rugby's respect for officials culture could actually enable better accountability than other sports. Because rugby coaches and players generally approach these conversations Constructively, the sport has an opportunity to model how to balance respect with transparency. Instead, World Rugby treats any public discussion of officiating as an attack on the system itself. Consider what could have happened differently in 2021. Erasmus makes his video. World Rugby reviews it. They confirm 23 of 26 points are valid. Then they thank him for the detailed feedback, commit to addressing the specific concerns raised, and explain their process for referee development and accountability. That response would have strengthened the system. It would have shown that accuracy matters more than ego. It would have demonstrated confidence in their ability to improve. Instead, they chose punishment over dialogue. They prioritized authority over accuracy. And in doing so, they guaranteed that the next time a coach has serious concerns about officiating, that coach will think twice before raising them through any channel, public or private. The impact extends beyond individual coaches. Players see this. They understand that questioning decisions comes with consequences. Teams adjust their approach. Everyone becomes more careful about what they say publicly, and the actual issues that triggered the original controversy, those just continue. Rassie Erasmus didn't set out to become rugby's most controversial figure. He saw problems that affected competitive integrity in a major test series. He tried to address them. He was factually correct about most of his concerns. And he got banned anyway. That's the story World Rugby doesn't want told. 4 years later, history repeats because nothing fundamental changed. The same debates about consistency arise. The same questions about accountability remain unanswered. The same system that failed in 2021 is still failing. The only difference is that now everyone knows to stay quiet about it. So when you watch rugby matches and see coaches carefully choosing their words in post-match interviews, remember why. When you hear diplomatic responses to questionable decisions, when you notice that serious discussions about officiating only happen in private conversations away from cameras, know that World Rugby created this environment deliberately. They proved Rassie Erasmus was right about the calls. And now, 4 years later, he's watching the same problems unfold, while saying nothing controversial at all. That's not a functioning system of accountability. That's a system designed to avoid accountability altogether. And until World Rugby chooses improvement over image protection, nothing will change. The pattern will keep repeating, and coaches will keep staying silent. And the game will keep having the same conversations about consistency that never lead anywhere. Because that's exactly what happens when you punish people for being correct.